So hi guys, thanks for joining me today and welcome to another makes video. So today's is the June makes. I have not been sewing so much in June, which I did on purpose. I felt like I'd sewn so much through the first chunk of lockdown, so through March, April, May, and I just felt like I needed to take a step back a little bit and enjoy other things. So I have been spending more time doing things like knitting and baking and reading and other crafts as well. I'll be able to show you a couple of those things too. I hope all of you guys are kind of coping well, depending on how lockdown is going wherever you guys are. I know here in the UK, at least in London, lockdown feels like it's over. Everybody seems to be going out like normal. I probably think that that's not a good thing, but we'll see what happens, right? Anyway, I'll start by showing you what I'm wearing at the moment. So this is a hack of the Shelby Dress from Tessuti, made in a double gauze from Sew Me Sunshine in the colourway called Paprika. I just love that it's called that. It's this really just kind of gorgeous kind of pumpkin orange, which I'm just really loving at the moment. Anything in that kind of like orange and yellow colourway, I'm like, I am there for it. Anyway, what I did with this dress, so firstly, I made it once before. I made one version of this dress last summer in this really lovely lightweight floaty fabric, which ended up being slightly sheer, which I didn't realise at the time. It's one of those things where if you are, if you're wearing dark underwear, you could definitely see it through. It's not kind of you're not completely exposed by any means, but not the most modest dressed for such a kind of modest dressed, right? Anyway, at the beginning of lockdown, when it was really warm through like April, May time, I started wearing it more around the house, and I realised that actually, I really like that shape. And I wanted to make another one of it, so that's when this came in. I'd originally earmarked this fabric when I was buying it for another dress. I had planned to make a by Hand London Hannah wrap dress out of it, and then I decided that I didn't want to do that anymore, and that this would be a much better idea. It's a hack in that I've basically just used the bodice lining piece for this top part and then whipped on a rectangular skirt and straps. The bodice in the original dress comes in a few pieces, so it's basically got a seam line here on the front and back, which doesn't do anything. It's not offering any shaping or anything like that. I think it's just there as a means for colour blocking, because I think that's what a lot of people do. I don't know. It's a very odd thing. Anyway, the bodice lining piece is exactly the same shape but without that line. And I didn't want to have these extra seams in there, so I thought lining piece will do just fine. I did fully line this top part, so this is fully lined on the top, front and back. I added in these long straps on both sides, literally just very long rectangles here. And the skirt again is another big rectangle that I've stitched in place. I could have just used the skirt piece that came with it, but I thought that doing it this way would allow me to make the most of the fabric in terms of the length and width of it, so that I could, have as much of this lovely orange as I could do. I'm going to stand up and show you guys what it looks like for length. So this is the dress full length. I've kept it long. I don't know if you see all the way down to my ankles or not, but it's about mid-calf at the length, and I've added in side seam pockets as well. It's beautifully soft, it drapes really well. This was like the perfect fabric for this. I'll twirl and you can see the back as well. So as you can see, the back is very similar to the front. I did make sure that I put in a label into the back of this dress to make sure that I always knew which way around it would go. It's just like the perfect loungewear dress. Like, I've worn this so many times since I've made it already. It's that dress that, you You wake up, you throw it on, you already feel a little bit more glamorous than you did 5 minutes ago, and it's just so comfy to wear. I would really recommend everyone to have a dress like this for sure. I'll move on to the next week now. So this is my second True by Shelby dress. Definitely one of my favourite things I've made during this lockdown. Another one made of fabric from Sew Me Sunshine. In fact, this month I managed, so I bought, had a mini haul from Sew Me Sunshine recently, and when I bought all the stuff I was like, I have to make use of all of this fabric, otherwise I cannot justify having bought it all, and I think I did actually. I bought 3 pieces and all 3 are in this makes video. So this is, as I said, the True by Shelby dress. I've made it once before. I made it in February this year. Loved it. It's just such an easy dress to make and wear, and it's just really flattering. When I got this viscose crepe, which is the same as a black version I got a couple of months ago, I knew that this is what I would want to make, this kind of like fun, bright 90s style tea dress, and it just turned out exactly like I thought it would. So the pattern itself I changed a little bit, so I've lowered the neckline just slightly, and I've also changed the sleeve to have this kind of split sleeve with a tie here, which is inspired by the Jenna dress from By Hand London. With the ties I kept them really long, so the ties are in the back here, and they get inserted in the seam between the side and centre back panels. And I kept them a bit longer so that I could wrap them all the way around and wrap them towards the front, which I think helps to break up the print a little bit as well, and also helps to cinch you in that little bit more to make it more flattering. I also added in pockets in this one as well because I love pockets. That's one of those weird things, isn't it, pockets? It's like you get those 2 camps of people who love pockets and have to have them in everything, which is where I am. People who hate pockets and will just omit them for every pattern that they do. It's quite funny and to hear people get into a debate over which side you're on. Anyway, I kept this as short as my previous one, so this is shortened by about 5 centimetres at the hem and 1.5 centimetres at the waist. I'll show you what it looks like all the way around. Yeah, it's just a really kind of fun and flirty little dress, and it's just so cute. It does make me want to make more Shelbys, and I'm really tempted to make the playsuit version of this. So they do a romper version both in the long and short versions as well, so that's really tempting to make too. I think I'm going to wait until I find the kind of perfect fabric for it before I commit to anything like that, but yeah, it's just, I can definitely recommend this pattern. It's just such a nice, quick, easy make. So this next make is my princess dress. So this is the Fibre Mood Elma dress pattern from the latest issue, so that's issue number 10, and I just kind of fell in love with this neckline and the puff sleeve that I knew that I wanted to make it. The pattern actually comes as a mini dress version, so I think it stops somewhere around here, or it's supposed to anyway, and I think they have a hat for a blouse version as well, but I was like, no, I want a maxi version. I want to live out all my princess dreams and make this into, you know, that perfect princess outfit. And it is giving me like total tangled princess vibes, right? If I had long blonde hair, it would totally work. Anyway, this fabric is a viscose from Sew Me Sunshine. Yet again, this is the third of my 3 of 3 Sew Me Sunshine makes with this really cool terrazzo print. When I got it, I was a bit like, actually, why do I keep buying pink? It's really not my thing, but I love it. The pattern is really simple. It's princess seams all the way down, so princess seams all the way here, kind of cuts across in this like sweetheart neck here, buttons all the way down the front, and this puff sleeve here. I'll show you the back as well. It's got that gorgeous square neckline there too. And I added in the ties the same as my Shelby dress that I just showed you as well. So in the same position, in the seam between the centre and side back panels, and again that just kind of brings you in right at the front here. I have to say, I changed the construction for these sleeves And I've added in a piece of binding, bias binding underneath here as a channel for the elastic. I only had a really wide elastic, and I think it's much wider than it had recommended, because in the instructions they recommend just stretching out the elastic and just sewing it directly to the fabric, and I tried it and it looked horrific, so I thought this method would be better as well. I do wish I'd done a big bicep adjustment to this to make it more of a poof. It's also slightly tight on me, but it's fine. It's not enough of a problem to make me not wear it, if that makes sense. I lengthened the pattern by 30 centimeters, which says something about the length of this dress originally, because it is designed as a mini dress. I'm like, if I did that as a mini dress, it would be below my knees still. I am very short, but you know, it's a bit off-putting. I'll show you I'll give you a proper tour and you can see what it looks like all the way around. I did put a little kind of bra strap clip into these ones. I've not actually tied myself into this, but it is there just because I find that these kind of sleeves and shoulders do tend to want to do that, and that just helps keep everything in place should I need it, but I'm only wearing it for these few minutes, so I don't need to right now. I'll move on to my next one for you. So this next make I'm sharing with you is one of which I have very mixed feelings. So this is the Dasha dress from a new to me pattern company called Lenaline Patterns. Lenaline. I'll pop them down on a link below, because I'm not quite sure how to pronounce that. Anyway, it's a French pattern company that I had just discovered. I decided that I really loved this dress. It looks beautiful on the sample model. It's kind of like voluminous dress with poof sleeve, you know, exactly kind of what I love at the moment. I love this play on volume, and I made it and I hated it. I think it was partly me, in that I think that I made a bad fabric choice for the pattern. Not that it wasn't out of the realm of the recommended fabrics as such, but it just didn't really work. So this is the dress. I'll stop rambling. This is the dress, okay? So it's designed with these these waist channels and ties. You've got basically a separate tie that goes onto the front and back, and they tie together on each side, and then the same at the neck, like this. The neck is supposed to be like so. And I've made this in a muslin or double gauze that I got from Stuff and Still in this lovely kind of petrol green. And it's got this kind of poof sleeve that ends with a cuff here as well. And I think it's the fabric. I think that this double gauze has a lot of body to it. You know, if you hold it up, it stays up, if that makes sense. Like, if you make a poofy skirt, it's going to be really poofy. It won't just fall and drape particularly well. And I think that that's what this pattern really needs. It really needs a very soft and drapey fabric for it to look half decent. Basically, it ended up just, it's just too much fabric on me. It just really didn't work. I quite like it styled off the shoulder like this. It isn't meant to be, but it is the only way that I'll wear it. I'm not sure if I'm going to keep it like this or if I'm going to just cut it up and make something else. There's still plenty of fabric there. I could probably do something else with it. I'd really like to see someone make a successful version, or you know, someone my kind of size and height, and see what it looks like. Because I don't know if it's just this is a pattern that would look beautiful on a size 8, 6 foot tall person and doesn't necessarily work for me. Anyway, very mixed feelings. I do feel really bad giving a not great review for a dress. And as I said, it might just be me. It might just be me, my style, my shape, all of that combined. And I think, as I said, my fabric choice did play into a lot of my feelings about this too. But yeah, I want you to have a look at it yourself and you know, get your own opinion from it. I'll give you a twirl and you can see what it looks like. Yeah, I'm gonna just, move on to the next thing. So recently I was invited to join a online Zoom class with Alice and Co Patterns to draft a skirt block. So they aim to draft a one-piece skirt block. So that's a skirt with just a centre back seam and then darts where your side seams are instead of a seam here, and then you get darts on the front and back. You draft everything with your own measurements, so the idea is that from the get-go you get to make something that should fit reasonably well. It's a great way of using complicated fabrics, anything with, a big print, a big border print, things like that. And I thought that this was a great opportunity to take this fabric out of the stash. So this is a laser cut white PU leatherette that I've had for absolutely forever. I got it in Gold Hawk Road a few years ago. I always planned to kind of make something special with it and never got around to it, so I thought this would be a great opportunity to get it out. It's a really quick, easy make. I didn't even hem the leatherette, that's a raw edge here. I have lined it, so I've put in a white cotton lining underneath it because otherwise it's a bit see-through. But I really love how it turned out. Sometimes you just need that little mini skirt. I do have a centre back invisible zip up here, but otherwise that's like as complicated as it gets. It's a really good basic skirt block as well, so it is something that I could use to make lots of other different types of skirts in future too. And that's always a useful thing to have, right? So this last bit of clothing I'm going to show you is this blouse I made from the Fibre Mood pattern called the Norma blouse. It wasn't in this latest issue of Fibre Mood, it's in issue 9, and it's just a really simple blouse pattern for this v-neck button-up blouse with this lovely puff sleeve. I've basically kept everything the same, but I wasn't a huge fan of that neckline, so what I did is made this lovely square neckline instead. I literally just squared out from the centre point where the V would have been, and then altered the facing to match. So a really simple hack. It kind of only works because it's such a loose fit blouse. I think that if it was anything that was meant to be any tighter, I would have had to make more fitting adjustments, but it kind of worked just like this. It's very lucky. Everything else I kept the same in terms of the size and shape of the blouse and this lovely sleeve as well. I really like it. It's got all those kind of peasanty feels to it. The fabric is a white cotton voile that I got from Simply Fabrics in Brixton, not from the shop, from the online store. And it's got this really lovely embroidered pattern on it. It kind of ends up looking like a stripe to it. And it's just really kind of soft and drapey. I love wearing this with dungarees. It's like my favourite thing is to wear this with dungarees at the moment. As like a lot of my tops, I'm sure you've noticed. Anyway, it's just a really simple, lovely, lightweight summer blouse. I think I'm going to get a lot of use out of this one. So as I said, in and amongst all the sewing and knitting that I've been doing, I've been trying out some other crafts, one of which is the Terrazzo planter kit, which I made, and I made this. So this was made using a kit from somewhere called Salt Studios. I'll link to them below. They basically supply you with all the stuff in order to make one of these. So this is made with something called jesmonite, which is some sort of composite material. They give you all the stuff to dye bits to make the little fragments that go inside it, and the mould in order to pour everything into and to cast it up. Actually a really simple craft to do. This one, as it comes with this planter, with a planter kit, there is another artist who does it with coaster molds and a tray mold. So if you are in the mood for something like that, I put a link to both different ones below. You can pick whatever colours you want, basically, in terms of what kind of colourway you want them. I went for this kind of an off-white with a yellow, pink and black fragments through it. I actually really like how the bottom turned out. I'm not really quite keen on the rest of it, and that is my own fault. I did not do a very good job in doing it. Like, I didn't fill my mould very well. My fault, not the makers, not the maker of the kits. That was very much on me. I'd also been doing a bit of ring carving, but I will show you guys the finished results when they get back for my next video. So thanks for joining me today, guys. I hope wherever you are in the world, you're all staying safe and sound. I hope to see you guys again soon. Bye now.